Welcome to Budds Creek, the Racer X Motocross Show on AllySports.com. Big news here. We're coming in around for the Lucas Oil A Pro Motocross Championship, the Moto T's Budds Creek National. Jason Wygant and Paul Lindsay, of course, here to give you all the scoops on what's going down in this series. Budds Creek has been around on this tour since 1989, and it's got a pretty good reputation nowadays. We were just joking off camera about the one time Ricky Carmichael went off on this track in '07. That was an odd year. For the most part, people talk about Budds Creek as one of the best tracks on the circuit.
Oh, this track is great. I mean, for me, I love this dirt. It's a fast track, but it's also good traction, nice and loamy, gets rough, gets ruddy, and we've seen a lot of great races here, a very fast pace, but I think the dirt looks awesome right now. It rained hard last night, but it's going to be good. So far, so good right now.
I throw a little curveball at you. We started in California. We went to Freestone in Texas. Those two tracks totally different. And then round three at High Point, totally different than that. It would seem to me, looking at it, that High Point and Budds Creek are at least somewhat similar. Certainly more so than the first couple tracks were.
For sure. You know, they don't bring in as much topsoil as some of the other tracks have to. It's more natural, obviously. It will sometimes get down to the hard pack like we saw at Mount Morris last week. With the rain, they didn't rip it quite as deep, so it got the topsoil brushed off. You get down to that hard, slick stuff. Nobody likes that. It's a little bit sketchy. Here, hopefully, that's not going to happen, but it is definitely similar, more similar to Mount Morris.
Okay, so the riders maybe have a little bit better idea what they're in for. For a little more analysis on that, we went over and talked to Brian Fleck over at Dunlop Tires to try to figure out how they're going to cope with some potential weather for the weekend and some great soil here at Budds Creek.
Last week we thought we were going to have a wet track, and they didn't water it and they didn't rip it real deep expecting rain, and then it didn't rain until the second moto, so the track actually got down to hard, shiny dirt, which is very, very slick, and we had quite a few riders changing tires between motos to try to get better traction on the hard packed dirt, and then it ended up raining anyway, so it threw everybody a little bit of a curveball. But that's part of the mystique of the Outdoor Nationals, is the weather, the track conditions change greatly from qualifying. It's different in each moto, where Supercross, the tracks are more consistent throughout the day. Outdoors, there's just a lot of difference. So it's a really big challenge for us. We've got a great crew of guys. We do 350 to 400 tires a weekend at an outdoor, especially if there's a WMX event at the Nationals. So there's 6 of us that do the Nationals, and we're busy. We actually start on Wednesday. We come into town early. We go to the hotels and pick up team wheels, change them and take them back to them so that we get a head start on the weekend. But it's a big challenge to take care of all the riders.
Well, the tire guy is going to be chasing it a little bit this weekend, but for the most part, the teams are a little bit better prepared coming into round 4 than they were certainly back at round 1. We know Ryan Villopoto made big bike changes after those first few rounds, and it really paid off at High Point. He dominated the first moto and then won the overall. So my question to you, Paul Lindsay, is that one moto victory by Villopoto proof that he is the man in this series like people expected him to be? Or is it just one moto win and we've got a long way to go?
Well, as usual, I'm going to be a little wishy-washy about it. I think so. I think, you know, it's what we expected last week. He hit the reset button. We're on the East Coast, goes out and kills him in the first moto.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we all thought Ryan Villopoto would do outdoors. But, hey, not so fast. The guy leading the points right now, Chad Reed, wins the second moto in the mud. And don't forget Ryan Dungey. Those same 3 took it down to the wire in Supercross. And we've got Alessi back. We've got Josh Grant back this weekend. And Trey Kennard will be back in a few weeks. This thing is still wide open, of course. And let's not forget Davey Millsaps, obviously.
Yeah, talk about Millsaps a little bit. This is a renaissance. Well, at first it was a renaissance. He's getting back to where he was, but he's starting to maybe even get better than he ever was at any point. This is impressive.
It is so much fun. A lot of people consider him a Supercross-only guy. He admittedly doesn't really care for the outdoors. It's been bad to him. He's been hurt a lot right here. Last year, of course. Had a big crash. So I think it's nice to see Davey Millsaps back up there. He's so close to greatness right now. He's just right on that lead pace. And let's not forget, a few years ago, he was supposed to be the next big thing before Villopoto even was. So
that's right.
Can Davey get in that lead pack? I think he could. So.
Okay, so we're looking at Villopoto showing the speed we expect, but we know Chad Reed and Ryan Dungey are going to be resilient. We're looking at that chase pack, Alessi, maybe Grant, Millsaps in there. One rider we have not talked about so far pretty much all year is Andrew Short, who normally is in that group. What's happening with Andrew Short?
Well, obviously he's catching a lot of flack on the internet. The switch from Honda to KTM, the 350, his conditioning. You know, the nice guys in the sport always seem to get the most flack for some reason.
That's right.
You know, he turned it around here last year. He won a moto on that Honda 450. Now he's on the KTM 350. You know, we talked to him earlier, which we'll get to in a second. But, you know, I think don't count him out just yet.
All right. Well, let's get it from Andrew Short's mouth right now. We talked to him about his 2011 season thus far.
Budds Creek's an awesome track to ride just because of the hills and, you know, the dirt. Beasley's put his heart and soul into this place, and it really truly shows. And I like everything about it except for the start. It seems like it's a little unfair on the inside. But last year I got 2 hole shots here, won a moto, so definitely a good race for me and had good memories. And see if I can turn my season around coming into this year. It seems like every year at the beginning I always have some struggles and deal with something, and this year's been no different. It seems like it's been poured on in every direction in my life and with racing, and just have a lot going on, and hasn't been so stellar, and definitely not what I was looking for, and really frustrating, and it just puts you in a tough spot. But I got a hole to dig myself out of. Budds Creek is, we'll see how it goes. Starts are going to be key for me. If I can get up front and run strong, I think I'll be a happy man, but you know, I have some work in front of me. Going into the outdoor season, I thought I'd be a little more prepared, knowing that we had the Supercross season under our belt and what we learned and the interaction with the team, and everything just kind of combined, coming together. But you know, it seems like I've really struggled. I think it more lies in my hands than the teams. You know, it comes down to me, and I have to execute on race day, and it's been a big struggle. So it has been tough, especially at the beginning. It's not clicking for me, so I got to do something and get some stuff figured out, because I'm definitely not where I want to be, and I'm really far off the mark right now.
All right, let's talk about the 250 class, since we've already talked about the 450 and 350 riders. Here's my question to you. 3 different Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki riders have led the points to the first 3 rounds, which, as far as we can tell, is the first time any team has ever done that.
Amazing.
Can any other rider and any other team compete with these riders, or is this it? Is the title definitely going to come from Pro Circuit?
Well, we always know that the mighty Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki team has guys in the mix and winning races and leading the points at times, but they have 3 solid guys up front.
Yep.
They've all shared the red plate, as we said. Obviously, Brock Tickle hasn't got in on the action yet. He's had his problems early, but I expect him to be up there as well.
Yeah.
Other than those Pro Circuit guys, we're losing guys like flies, unfortunately. Musquin is out.
Yep.
We just learned about Barsha with his mono, and that's could take all summer. You never know what's going to happen there. So really, it looks like it comes down to Tomac. Is he the guy that could do like Kennard did last year, by the way, and
Right.
get on a tear? He sits 4th in points right now. He needs to get in there and break up that green party for sure.
Now, it's 23 points between Tomac and 4th and your points leader, Tyler Rattray. So you think, well, that's it. The Pro Circuit guys got it. But 23 points, not that much.
Definitely not outdoors. That's why we go racing outdoors. We got a lot of motos left, and it's going to be consistency. Now, it is 3 against 1, let's say, right now, so Tomac has 3 guys to beat. But I definitely think you haven't seen the last of Eli Tomac.
Now, amongst those 3 riders who are leading the series, I don't even have words to describe what I've seen from Blake Baggett in 4 of the 6 motos this year.
Unbelievable.
You're not supposed to be able to go 4 seconds a lap faster in a class that's supposed to be so tight. Can he keep this up, or is this just a ticking time bomb? Because to go that fast, we don't see this happen very often, and certainly not consistently.
Well, he doesn't seem that surprised about it. He works hard, trains hard. He knows he's got the speed. He's healthy. He had an off weekend in Texas with a little fall, banged his head. Definitely back on track at Mount Morris. That was one of the funnest things I've seen. Those first 2 motos at Hangtown and then Mount Morris reminded me of a couple other short guys on green bikes that used to go fast in that class. Not only is he fast, he's charging at the end of motos. It's just unbelievable to watch that kid come through the pack, or even if he's running out front, how hard he pushes at the end of the motos.
Definitely going to be fun to watch. And speaking of that, we'll give you the TV times. Of course, all the first motos are live right here on allysports.com. That'll start at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll also have those motos live on Fuel TV at 1 o'clock Eastern Time as well. Second motos starting tonight at 10 Eastern on Speed. We'll have a back-to-back block. So basically, if you're on the East Coast, go 10 through midnight on Speed. You'll see your second motos. That's it for the Racer X Motocross Show from Budds Creek. He's Paul Lindsay. I'm Jason Wygant. We'll be back with our post-show on Sunday morning. Thanks for watching. It's the Moto Tees National at Budds Creek. It's going to be some great racing.